Authoritarians are the best, dude. It's the best. Kim Jong-un says he's willing to denuclearize. I love the propaganda. Yeah, North Korea is who I'm going to trust for my information. I really trust North Korea for their word. North Korea always says things that are very, very founded in fact and reality. Bernie Sanders praised it.
In light of the recent events in Venezuela, you came out against U.S. intervention, a contentious stance as many in Venezuela are currently suffering at the hands of Maduro through starvation and violence, and it is clear that he will not let humanitarian aid in. Under these circumstances and moving forward, do you have a clear position on U.S. intervention overseas, both economically and militarily, for nations that are under the regimes of these oppressive dictators?
Thank you. Good question. There are a lot of awful things happening in the world, and what's going on in Venezuela is terrible. The economy is a disaster. People are living in hunger and in fear. I strongly believe there has to be an international humanitarian effort to improve lives for the people. I think the evidence is pretty clear that the last election in Venezuela was not a free and fair election. And
what did Bernie vote for the Ukraine aid? Did Bernie vote for or against Ukraine aid? I'm really curious. I forget. Wait, did Bernie vote for or against Ukraine aid? I don't know. I really don't know. I'm just gonna do oh, okay, I understand. So Bernie voted in favor. Okay, he voted in favor of the Ukraine aid package that was only Ukraine for $40 billion, but he voted against Ukraine aid when it included Israel aid as well, right? So that's where they get the other numbers from. So like in the bills, is that where Trump gets the lie from? By the way, when Trump says that we gave $300 billion to, or $350 billion or $500 billion to Ukraine in aid, is he quoting the entire cost of the of all the bills? Because a lot of the aid to Ukraine was packaged together in a foreign aid package that included aid to Israel and Ukraine and a bunch of other countries. So when he lies about that, maybe they get numbers from that. So Bernie was in favor of Ukraine aid, but not when it was tied to Israel aid. This important nuance. I think I'm just gonna watch Bernie Sanders interviews from 2020 and pretend we're still in that year, and pretend we're still there.
Да, BBC я обещал, да, пожалуйста.
Они обещали нам
Vladimir Putin challenged on his 25-year rule of Russia.
напасть.
Да, вы обещали напасть. Но они без обещаний с удовольствием это делают. У меня работа такая, они же деньги получают.
BBC News. Ровно 25 лет назад Борис Николаевич Ельцин ушел в отставку, передал вам власть и сказал вам: берегите Россию. Вот спустя 25 лет, вот как вы считаете, вы уберегли Россию? Потому что со стороны, что мы видим? Мы видим значительные потери в так называемой СВО, которую вы объявили.
Okay, so he says to Putin, you were given this country 25 years ago to take care of it. Did you take care of it? And given the special military operation, which is the invasion of Ukraine, there were substantial losses.
Мы видим украинских
We
солдат,
see Ukrainian soldiers in the Kursk region.
которые в Курской области. Вы критикуете расширение
You
НАТО,
criticize NATO expansion, but there is now more NATO on Russia borders. There's more NATO on Russia borders, true.
но стало больше.
Interesting too, because like Putin, Russia needs to interact with other countries, and China does as well. So they're very isolationist and authoritarian, but they need some interaction globally because they need to sell oil and sell different things. North Korea does not need to, because they're just like, North Korea is like a child of China and Russia. North Korea originally got nukes because of the Soviet Union, and like the Korean War was basically the Soviet Union versus America, but through basically proxy. And that war was started because the Soviets were confident the U.S. would not come attack. The U.S. would not come support South Korea. I mean, it was one Korea at the time, but the southern of the Korea that was more pro freedom. The Soviet Union thought that the U.S. was not going to come help them, and then the Soviets became friends with the Communist part of North Korea and of Korea. Sorry, Communist part of Korea. And then there was a line drawn between both of those. But it's interesting to see Putin get questions from outside his state-run media. Thank you for $5, 4-day player. Wow, Vandred, good.
Больше НАТО, да, на рубежах России, Швеция, Финляндия. Санкции, высокая инфляция.
Sanctions, high inflation, and demographic problems.
Демографические проблемы. Но вот как вы считаете,
вы
уберегли свою страну?
Да, я считаю, что не просто уберег, я считаю, что мы отошли от края пропасти.
Yes, I did not just take care of it, I pulled it from the edge of abyss.
Потому что все, что происходило с Россией до этого и после, вело нас к полному, фактически полной тотальной утрате нашего суверенитета. А без суверенитета Россия существовать как самостоятельное государство не может. Обращаю ваше внимание на то, что вы сказали в отношении Бориса Николаевича Ельцина. Все было как бы хорошо. Его покровительственно хлопали по плечу. Не замечали даже, когда он немножко прикладывался к рюмочке. Он был очень приятен во всех западных кругах. Как только он сказал о том, что это противоречит международному... Как только он сказал дал голос в защиту Югославии, как только он сказал о том, что это противоречит международному праву...
I'm sorry, I've just been looking up a bunch of stuff about dictatorships, dude. I've been really just like... I've been just watching a bunch of videos about dictatorships.
И уставу ООН, как только он сказал, что это недопустимо в современной Европе наносить удары по Белграду, по столице европейского государства без санкций Совета Безопасности ООН.
Putin got a lot of work done too. You could tell his face is very pretty, like not pretty. It's stretched, and it's a lot of work. But you can see in like his age in his hand. Do you see when you look at his hand, you can tell how old he is, which is kind of interesting. But they all got work done, a lot of work done. 931 number, call back in. I saw someone call back in. 931 number. You gotta be entertainment for us. Call back in, buddy. Call back in, buddy, old pal. Thank you for $5. What do you think of Chuck Schumer's betrayal? Chuck Schumer's needs to be out of the party as soon as possible. Hi, this is the YouTube stream. What's up?
Hey man, no, I just saw this stream and just seeing if it was real, man.
It's not real, dude.
What do you mean it's not real?
You're not talking to a person right now. You're talking to an AI robot.
Oh no, I'm not that dumb, bro. This is a real human.
Are you sure about that?
Bro, I'm watching your AI robot.
Are you sure about that?
100%, man. Trump is terrible, bro. I agree. I voted for the guy. I'm Spanish myself. So, yeah, man.
Do you regret your vote?
I don't regret it, bro. You know what? That's funny that you asked that. You're the third person that's asked me that. I don't regret it. Only because Kamala was not a better alternative, bro.
Why?
I don't regret it, bro. No. There's a lot of latency here, man. Let me wait for my audio to go through. And look, Kamala was not a better alternative. I don't know too much, but what I do know is that I got kids, and to me, Democrats are pushing all this. I sound like the narrative, right? All this woke shit with the LGBTQ. I feel like they're trying to put that in the next 10, 15 years, bro. Little kids are going to be trying to identify like snakes and horses and shit. That's one reason.
Okay. So you're afraid of gay people?
No, I'm not afraid of gay people, bro. My thing is that I think there's a lot of programming, bro. You're crazy right now if you're trying to tell me there's no such thing as programming. Programming. They're trying to put
Well,
that
you're
shit in schools,
programmed.
bro. What do you
You're
mean?
programmed to be afraid of gay people.
I'm not afraid. You know what that means to be afraid? Come on,
Do you
bro.
think like if you're around a gay person, do you think you're more likely to be gay?
Bro, hold on. I hear a lot of latency, man. Yeah, I could say that, yeah.
I think that means you're gay though. If you're just like gay because you're around gay guys, that probably means you're gay. I don't think you just
No,
like
I
turn
don't have a gay contact in my life. Maybe not as much as you. I don't have any in my contacts. No. Since you're trying to troll, let's troll. I thought we were here to have a conversation, man.
Well, you're saying there's programming, which is like a super, scary word, but there's just like gay people who exist and a bunch of people who exist, and there's not really people trying to convince anyone to be anything. A lot of people just are different things. And can people go through experimental phases in life? Sure. But as far as like voting for someone for president just because you don't like gay people, it's kind of weird. Yeah, you just seem insecure about it then.
No, this is actually, look, I can look at you and I can tell you probably don't have no kids right now. The programming is real. When you put flags, rainbow flags everywhere, and this is what represents your group, programming is real, bro. Are you trying to tell me there is no program?
In terms of people being accepting of gay people, sure. I think it's good to be programmed to accept gay people. It's not good to convince anyone to be gay or to be trans. If they are that, it's okay, but you shouldn't be convincing people for sure.
No, for sure, and I like that you say that. That's true, and that's my argument. I'm not trying to make it more than what it is.
You're saying people are convincing kids to be gay.
The programming is real, not people. That means you're identifying. I'm saying there's an agenda, bro. Yes, there's an agenda behind that.
Do you think people want to be trans?
Bro, trans people don't even want to be trans.
Yeah, it's not something people really choose.
What's your argument, man? Trump is terrible. What's your argument, man?
Well, first off, he's a really bad person overall. He's just a really bad guy. He's from a very extremely rich background. He does not get working people at all. His policies are really anti-working people. He's anti-labor protections. He's anti-unions. He's anti-Medicaid. He's anti-Medicare. He's anti-Social Security. He's anti-healthcare.
Bro, he said, no, hold on. Healthcare, Social Security. My dad's on Social Security. He said Social Security is not going to get touched. What have they done with Social Security? My dad hasn't stopped getting a check. My dad said he's actually
not yet. He tried cutting Social Security with every budget as president. He's going to try cutting it again. Not right away, but eventually. Maybe year 1 or year 2. But he did try cutting it the first time around. He lied about that. He lies about everything. You can bring up any Trump policy. Really? I could tell you more about it, but...
Damn.
He did try cutting it. And his budgets they voted for, the Republicans in Congress, they've been trying to privatize Social Security for probably 50 years, maybe 60.
What does privatize mean? What does
privatize mean? So
private company?
No, it's
it always comes from the government, from taxpayers.
No, so Social Security would be for example, they would just steal Social Security money and force everyone to just put extra money into their 401ks, for example, retirement accounts. So companies can profit off of it. Instead of having it be an insurance program that helps alleviate poverty, it would just leave a lot of people in poverty that are going to be stuck there. If you're a working class person, you're probably screwed for a
That's
lot.
Already happening, bro. Bro, that's already happening. 401k. When I look into my 9-to-5 job, and they present to me the whole 401k, there's a mention in there about Vanguard has their own program of 401k and IRA, and then you got on the paper from work it says BlackRock. So the fact that 401k is already somewhat privatized, it's already there.
No. So Social Security is not. No. I'm saying that Social Security is a separate thing from investments or retirement. So Social Security is a private fund. It's self-funding. It's an insurance program. It lowers senior poverty by 50% or more. And it just like helps. It's been really beneficial to America, but Social Security is different from that retirement account. It's really good for especially poor people. It helps poor people. It just helps poor people.
Yeah. No, for sure, bro, for sure.
But they want to kill that, and I think it's a bad thing because like I know a lot of poor people who need Social Security to survive.
I haven't seen anything or heard anything as far as the video. Cause Trump goes viral every day, but I know that
like, will you regret if he does cut it? Like,
I'm saying once he signs these executive orders, I try to go look them up, and you can, if you read in between the lines, obviously there's a lot of small print, like terms, like, you know, like on just any contract. There's small little terms on there which goes beyond what the media just shows. But, you know, him just posting up the executive order, like for the camera.
Well, yeah, and I researched the stuff past what the media shows, because what the media shows benefits Trump a lot. So I really do. I mean, I work in policy. I understand policy. That's why I don't like Trump. But people that don't know that much about policy, and that's fine, but people that don't like policy
what do you do
like
for
Trump.
a living, man?
I don't really talk about what I do for a living. I work in policy, though. Like I'm
What
trained
does that mean?
in
What
public policy.
industry is that?
I understand how laws work and how policies work for companies and governments. So I do like I know how to do policy analysis. I know how the bills typically function. I know how the government functions with policies and how policies affect the American people. And Trump lies to people who don't know that much about it, and that's how Trump is successful. But really, he's gonna do a lot of bad things, and I'll cover it on my channel as they happen. I can't really go through them all now because I'm also tired too. But I mean, I hope to see you around the channel if you stick around and watch a little bit. I take call-ins like 10 p.m. Eastern time, usually 9 p.m. Eastern time most nights. So.
Hey man, what industry are you in? Because what you know, that'll give me.
I don't talk about.
Kind of like
well, okay,
industry,
so
like you know.
I'm trained in policy. So like for example, if you want to know how Narcan affects the opioid epidemic, or how like different treatments or different like policies for a state government can work, your return on investment for a policy, like building roads and stuff. I can do policy analysis. This is the kind of stuff I work in.
Okay. I mean, I've never heard that occupation, so.
Yeah, and well, no one hears anything about anything because no one tells them, especially the media. Liberal media doesn't tell anyone either.
That's not a very popular occupation, but yeah, okay.
Well, yeah, if public policy was more in focus, then neither Trump or Kamala would have been candidates. So.
What do you go to school for to do that? Like, what did you?
I have a master's in public policy. It's just understanding how governments and corporations work.
Okay.
So I took corporate classes in corporate policy, corporate ethics, that kind of stuff. I also took state government courses, master's level. I wrote my master's thesis on the opioid epidemic, that kind of stuff. So yeah. Yeah, whenever there's like systems for anything, like roads or like bridges or healthcare systems or I don't know, emergency services, usually public policy analysts or people that write laws. Like if a congressperson ever writes a law, by the way, that's never done by the congressperson. That's all the policy analysts. So like if someone with a policy degree can actually write the laws that are put into action. This is for Republicans and Democrats.
So there's a lot of guys like you, a lot of guys and gals like you, writing it up. Almost, let's say, in analogy, a songwriter, and then he brings a song over to the artist.
Yeah, and they like do it for final approval. But when they write budgets and stuff, the Congress people don't write anything. Yeah, they have people working for them to do it. So
yeah, I mean,
anything the government does at all is policy writers and stuff.
That's good. And you know what? I thought to myself, all these things that Trump comes up with, obviously, I'm seeing him in a round table. He's obviously getting ideas from his, you know, supposedly his group, his peers. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And all these things that ran through his campaign. So I'm glad you told me that because I didn't know that was a thing.
Well, you see him pick up the things they give him. He barely knows half the time what he's signing. He's like, "Which one is this again?" You're like, "Well, this is gonna like change the whole world." He's like, "Oh, okay, whatever," and he signs it, kind of throws it to the side. He likes making a show out of it.
Bro, he likes making a show out of everything. This whole $250 bill with his face on it. That's a big ego. Very, very extremely big ego because he can type shit. You know what
I
mean?
mean, and that's not good, though.
There's a lot of shit that I do not like, bro. There's a lot of shit that I do not like as a voter. I voted for him. There's a lot of shit.
Are there any Democrats you do like? Are there any Democratic politicians you do like?
I don't.
There's not one at all?
I'm not very heavy into politics. If they have a name, if they went popular or viral for something, I know them and I might look them up and all that. But besides
do you know
that,
do you know AOC?
Yes, I've heard of her out there in New York.
I assume you don't like her.
Well, I mean, she's cute, man. But besides that, a lot of shit that she says when I hear her talk, it's completely against. Again, it gives that Democratic vibe with all the shit that, like, even Nancy Pelosi during COVID, she kept going up there saying for the American people, for the American people. That's the shit that she sounds like. It's like
Do you
they're out
think
of
like
touch.
it's like AOC, for example, is she someone that you think you would hear out if you heard more about her, if she does like interviews and stuff like that, or becomes more mainstream? Because a lot of the stuff, like the liberal media will show Trump in the worst way possible, and the right wing media will show her in the worst way possible. Do you think, like versus Pelosi, do you think you'd hear her out more than you would Pelosi, or just like give a chance?
I mean, I again, Trump goes viral every day, even in his first term.
True.
All the shit with Nancy Pelosi ripping up the paper behind them, right? I'm watching this stuff every day, and so are millions of people, right? Millions of people are getting rich off YouTube just talking about Trump.
I'm trying to get rich off YouTube. I hope so. I hope so someday.
Huh?
Before they block me. Yeah, I mean, I hope to get rich off YouTube when I'm talking about Trump. That sounds super fun.
You're not making money off YouTube?
I'm not getting rich.
I mean, you're making more than $10,000 a month?
No, I'm probably making 1/10 of that per month.
That's okay, man.
I mean, it's still obviously nice because people donate to support my content. But
man, you are better than the people who started the channel today, bro. They got 0 subscribers, man.
Hell yeah. Hey man, if you see the channel up, yeah, hope you hop in. Watch every now and then when big events happen.
I just subscribed.
It's usually talking about like I mean, I usually take callers. It's whatever if you watch streams or not. I'm gonna try to post more videos too, like a radio call-in format, because I know people don't have time to sit through like 4-hour streams. So I want to make sure I post video clips so people have stuff to watch when they're at work and stuff. But yeah, I hope to see you around here. And politics sucks, but I appreciate the conversation, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Take care.
All right, have a good night, man.
Just subscribe. All right, man.
Appreciate it, man. Have a good one.
Call from
Melvin.
Hello, sir.
Yes, hello.
What's up?
Yeah, I'm just calling in to, civilly discuss, my disagreement with you.
I love civilly discussing ideas or disagreements.
Yeah, I mean,
if you have my stream on, can you mute it in the background or pause it?
I will. And to add on to what I was saying, I think that's what makes America great. We should, no matter how controversial your view is to me or my view is to you, we should appreciate our freedom of speech, to be able to discuss this, our freedom to the press, and our freedom to disagree. I mean, that's what makes our country great, that, even though you're on one other end of the aisle in comparison to me, censorship is never in my opinion, is never the solution for any disagreement.
Yeah, I agree. That's why I don't like Trump calling for like journalists to be banned or saying that law firms are illegal because they disagree with him. And also deporting green card holders for having opinions he doesn't like. So I agree, but I think we need to hold that standard everywhere.
No, I would agree if this is something that he is doing, but also I don't agree with what the left has done in the sense of how they tried to censor him completely, tried to go after him as their political rival, just because he has more of a conservative opinion. I mean,
he did things to go after though. He did some illegal things with the 2020 election. He did some illegal things with obstructing justice, for the Russia investigations. So he did do some things that are definitely worth looking into.
Well, the whole Russia investigation was a complete hoax. He wasn't in Russia.
Okay, so the report that came out did conclude that they could not define a definite effort to collude together with Russia for his campaign to work directly with Russia. They did conclude that Russia is helping Trump win, or they wanted Trump to win, and they were sending out like bot farms on Facebook and social media platforms to help push like Trump messaging. But they did not confirm that Trump was like actively communicating with Russia. But Trump did have some weird suspects working for his campaign, but it was not a complete hoax. It was definitely worth looking into, 100%.
I do apologize for interrupting if I am, but at the same time, you see what you're saying? China has been involved in colluding in our elections. Russia has been involved in colluding in our elections. I know for a fact Europe has been involved. But just because these countries are not involved, if you don't find proof of him being in collusion with them, like it was found that it was actually Hunter Biden who came up with, you know, in conjunction with Obama, who came up with that whole Russia scheme. So my thing is, if you can't find proof that he was involved with Russia, how are you
but
gonna,
that's what the report was for, right?
Say that again, I'm sorry.
Multiple people got arrested during that investigation, by the way, like Roger Stone for obstructing justice and refusing to answer questions. So, like, Trump's people did do illegal things to try to hide evidence about Russia and Trump, which seemed a little bit suspect. I'm just saying what the facts of the case are. It seemed a little bit of suspect. It seemed a little suspect that Trump's people were trying to protect some information from them. But in general, Obama didn't like make something up, or like no one made stuff up. Like Trump had people like Paul Manafort, for example. That's one name to look for in Trump's campaign. He was a literal Russian operative in Ukraine from 2004 to 2014. So like Paul Manafort is very pro-Russia. But I want to talk about the Russia supposed hoax thing. Looking into Trump there for the Mueller investigation was completely justified, 100% justified. Looking into that, definitely justified. The 2020 election that Trump lied about and tried to do illegal shit to overturn it, looking into January 6th, that's totally justified as well.
It's because of what they were doing in Pennsylvania. They were running ballots and ballots and ballots. I mean, dead people were voting.
No, they were not doing that. That's not true at all. That's not true. The only dead people in Pennsylvania that voted for Trump were that voted were for Trump. There's no issue with rerunning ballots. That's not true at all. I know Pam Bondi said something about that. I work very no. Okay. You don't know. I work very intimately. I work. Hey, buddy. On Pennsylvania. Hey, no. It's not both sides. There's two facts. Or there's one fact. Okay. I know Pennsylvania elections very intimately. And I know there was not any error in Pennsylvania elections, and Trump's own legal team could not provide any evidence.
I 100% know that every single vote that was counted was not done in error.
Did you know that? Hey, calm. Wait. Did you know that Trump's legal team provided 0 pieces of evidence about this at all? In every court case and everything leading up to this point, there is still 0 evidence about actual fraud in Pennsylvania other than online stories. Trump's legal team in court, when it had to come to bringing evidence or making actual claims, they ran away like scared puppy dogs because they had nothing about this. Like, that's a complete conspiracy. There were no issues in Pennsylvania with the integrity of the election.
Recount of the votes. He wanted a recount of the votes, which he
they got recounts. No, they got recounts already. They did have multiple certifications in multiple parts of the state.
Right to recount, and Georgia wouldn't even listen to him when they said he so-called did the perfect phone call. You see what I'm saying?
Well, in the Georgia call, if you listen to it, he was asking them to find votes for him.
No, he was saying
he wanted to seize voting machines as well.
And then on top of that, if there wasn't so much fraud done in the 2020 elections, why would people riot? Like, why would people riot? Now Trump just got re-voted in.
Because Trump lied to them. Because Trump lies to them. And he lied to them and brought them to the Capitol with the intention of sending them to the Capitol to protest.
Trump said...
by the way, Georgia conducted... Did you know that Georgia did multiple recounts? Did you know Georgia did a hand recount as well?
I have not researched into that information.
I know you have not researched into this. I know you're not, because you would know that's a very basic fact, but Trump lies about it and you believe it. And this is a message for me to America. I need everyone to stop believing whatever they hear on the internet. We could look this up in 2 seconds. Look up the multiple Georgia recounts by hand counts that certify that Joe Biden won the election. Multiple times it was recounted, and you're coming in here yelling at me. I know a lot about Pennsylvania elections, but also Georgia too. You have to just
take it as yelling at you. I'm just passionate about this. So
no, but you shouldn't be passionate about something. But do you think it might be a problem if you're passionate about something you don't know that much about?
No, I follow my politics. I follow politics. I look at both sides.
Well, you follow people. You're a follower, but you don't follow politics.
No, I follow politics, period. And I've seen many lies which the left skews. Many lies. And I also see lies which the right skews.
Did you know that
the same way that Trump talks about the left, he's talked about the right, and I agree with him on his whole standing on Bush and 9/11. There were a lot of lies. 9/11. A lot
About
of
the
lies.
election, just really quick. Did you know that after these states did multiple recounts and Trump still lost, he tried seizing voting machines, which is illegal, and they said no. He tried seizing voting machines, and when that didn't work, he kept lying about it. And then he tried hiring a different slate of electors, like the Electoral College. He wanted to just bypass what the states certified as their election results. After the recounts, Trump still wanted to overturn the election. So that's why like January 6th is so bad too, because Trump was trying to overturn it. He knew he lost. But he was still lying about it. Even to this day, he still lies about it. And he pardoned the January 6th people that beat the crap out of cops. And that's really bad too. Like all of this together, it's just like Trump in 2020 election. It's all lies, man.
Listen, I'll give you that you have a good stance in how you articulate your arguments and all that. But I think there's more to it. I mean,
I'm not articulating. I'm reading facts. If you want me to articulate, I can get like really profound about it if you want. But I'm just saying the facts.
Hold on. Let me finish my statement though. On top of that also, if he was so bad, why would he be voted in as president now? Why would he? Why would 50?
The same reason that people stormed the Capitol, because he's a liar. He lies to people. People thought he's pro Social Security. He tried cutting Social Security in every budget as president. He's a liar. Yeah, I mean, people voting for you doesn't mean you're a good person. They voted for a lot of bad leaders.
Fraud in Social Security. That's what he's trying to do. The fraud.
People get lied to. Oh no, actually, Social Security, he tried cutting it as president the first time around. The fraud they want to cut right now is also fake. Like when they say there's like I don't know, a few 100,000 people who are dead getting benefits, that's not true at all. The budgets, the money from the Treasury that we track going to these agencies, it doesn't even match up to those numbers. And also, we have the reports from the Social Security Administration. We have people today in America that are alive being taken. Their Social Security is being taken away because they're being listed as dead now in the system because Elon Musk doesn't understand the system of Social Security. So like when it comes to waste, fraud, and abuse in Social Security, there's less waste, fraud, and abuse in SS than there is in any private insurance program. So that's also just like not backed up by any fact. Trump's a liar, man. We can go through all these facts. I'm not even articulating. These are lies.
So you're saying everything he's doing is lies, and then more than
most
half
of
the
it.
country that voted with for him, that's just because they believe in a liar.
Yeah, 100%. He's a manipulator. Yeah.
I mean, more than half of the country disagrees with you.
Yeah, I know they disagree with me, but when it comes to the facts, he lied to them. So, I mean, when they say like, why did Trump win? It's because he's willing to lie more than anyone else is.
And also, you got to look at the fact that most of the country swung conservative. So it's not only that Trump was so popular among the masses.
But he got popular by lying. You're just like saying things that don't like what you're saying right now does not change the fact he's lying to people to get popular. Like he's lying. He's a liar. And that's what people voted for.
Most of the country swung right. Almost 90%.
Yeah, okay, you're repeating the same thing over and over again. Do you hear yourself? I'm saying that people were lied to. Yeah, they were lied to. Yeah, people were lied to.
The county swung right. Conservative.
Yeah, because they were lied to. Yeah, it doesn't change the fact of what Trump is like when it comes to like his quality of a person.
Stupid that they're not gonna do their own research. You see what I'm saying? Like,
do you realize that you are on this call right now and you're getting emotional? You realize you're getting emotional over stuff you don't know anything about. So I mean, you're a good representative of a lot of people that voted. And you're someone that follows politics. And you don't know this stuff.
Talking about because you're the one taking this personal and going at me.
I'm not coming at you. I'm saying that you don't know your facts. And if you don't know your facts and you follow politics, the American people are working hard.
I raise my voice. I'm Puerto Rican. We're loud naturally. That's just how we are. So
okay,
good job. When I'm telling you,
I go to a Puerto Rican barbershop. Amazing.
90% of counties switch to the right. That's a fact. I'm giving you a fact.
Okay, I agree that the vote changed, but I also Trump lied to people. Okay, those two things can be true, and you can get popular by lying to people. And also, people are mad about pronouns too. People are really babies about pronouns. So like those are the two reasons Trump won: lying and pronouns. Because right now Trump's saying that high prices are actually it's patriotic to pay higher prices because of tariffs.
You see, and this is the problem with this country. You have people commenting, Trump will deport you, caller. Stupid. Puerto Ricans are naturally citizens, and I was born in the U.S. and I'm an Army veteran. I'm not getting deported anywhere.
And who said you're getting deported? Who said that?
Mr. T. Davis. You know that's very ignorant.
Okay,
so
I don't care about.
In other words, which is very offensive.
T. Davis in chat, bad boy. I do not affiliate with T. Davis in chat.
I'm just letting you know. You know, this is what not you in general, but this is what your party does. When someone shows a voice and then do so, and then they go to racist comments, and then they go to calling me a Mexican and stuff like that.
Wait, who called you a Mexican?
I mean, that's the fact. I'm Puerto Rican, and I'm an Army veteran.
Okay, I just need to tell you.
Have a freedom of speech. It's me.
In chat.
Okay,
I'm just saying, in chat, they might do this on purpose now because they're internet trolls and they say really mean things about me too. But now that they know you're mad, they're gonna try to make you more mad. So stop looking at the chat. They're gonna say more mean things.
I'm just saying, it's disrespectful when you tell me that I need to do more of my research and all that, I'll give you that and I'll respect that. But
okay, well don't go off the YouTube short chats. They're YouTube short chats. They're probably 12 years old. They're probably 12 years old. There's no reason to even look at them. They don't matter.
But look, all I will say is the reason I voted for Trump is because one is I'm an Army veteran. I feel like he's going to do more for the veterans. Two is I agree more with his conservative views, and he's a business guy. I vote with my pockets, and I've seen nothing but Democrats. I used to be a Democrat. I used to align with the left. But I've seen so much of voting for Democrat and nothing being done for us.
Okay, I have two big questions then. Two big questions.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, so number one would be. Okay, so I have two of them. Number one is, what do you think about the Trump admin cutting 80,000 people, 80,000 employees from the Veterans Affairs, and most of them are vets. They want to cut a lot of federal workers who are vets from the federal government, but mostly like Veterans Affairs. That's number one. And number two, if you vote with your pockets, what do you think about the current stock market and also tariffs?
Well, I will say that I disagree with him cutting veteran jobs. I think he should cut more jobs of people. I agree with him putting limits to Congress, for sure. I agree with him letting the parents make more of the decisions in the school system, because if my child is going into school, they should not be pushed. My children should not be pushed.
Hey, I'm sorry. I asked you a question about veterans getting fired from their jobs and about the economy, and you're going back to like being scared of gay people. I'm asking about the economy of veterans.
I apologize. I was just addressing that also. Those are the good things that he's doing. But the economy, first of all, tariffs, I feel like he's just doing that as a form of negotiation to get these countries to the table. America, I get that we have the highest gross domestic product in the world, but we should not be paying for Europe's problems with Ukraine and Russia. We should not be, having these deals with China where it's completely on China's favor and not to our favor. I agree with America first. Look at George Washington's farewell address when he left the office with his farewell address. He said America needs to focus on being isolationist, just focusing on their own country. And I get and respect that it's a global economy, but it's to a certain extent. I agree with us protecting Taiwan because they make a lot of the chips, and if China gets access to all the chips, it's trouble for us because they already have a lot of technology in China, and they have a humongous army. That's all they would need. But other than Taiwan and maybe Israel, because of my religious views, I don't think we should even be involved in any other, affairs, especially with Ukraine. I feel like they should handle that themselves. And I do agree that with his view on NATO, where NATO should, the countries that are in Europe should be putting up more of the money than America. We have a whole ocean between us and Ukraine and Europe. It's not really it's not so much our problem. It could be our problem, but we should not be paying more than all the European countries.
Are you familiar with like intercontinental missiles and like planes and stuff? Like the American Revolution, we were fighting a war with a country that was over one of those oceans, and also like 9/11 happened, and also we also have a lot of technology nowadays that would make cyber warfare more apparent, and it's really complicated. I don't think the oceans really protect us. They don't protect us, but I would just say that there's a reason we did not have a world war for like 80 years, and it's because of NATO. It's because we give aid places. It's because we do lead the free world. I don't think we should police the world, but we should definitely help aid the free world. So I definitely support helping Ukraine, and also we have treaties and agreements with different countries we should uphold, such as Ukraine, and it helps America to keep the world more stable. And we actually prevent war. We prevent killing. We prevent people dying at war if we support global stability through foreign aid. So like foreign aid is a way to prevent actual wars and to protect our troops.
Well, I mean, it's kind of out.
What do you think about? Wait, what do you know that are you familiar with like Article 5 of NATO?
I'm not familiar with most of I've heard of Article 5, but please refresh my mind. Go ahead.
So this is a
Let me
big
know.
issue I have with what Trump says about NATO, because he says like NATO doesn't pay their fair share, and he questioned if NATO countries would ever come help the U.S. if the U.S. needed help. And the Article 5 is essentially if one NATO country is attacked or for
Oh,
defense
yeah, yeah,
purposes, they
no,
could come together and everything. But the U.S. is the only country to ever use Article 5, and other countries' service people died for the U.S. in Afghanistan and Iraq. And like when Trump says that NATO would not back us up, I think it's pretty gross, because like their soldiers paid the ultimate price to support us, and they have supported us for a long time. And after Hurricane Katrina and all these other disasters, Europe and all these countries gave us huge support. Like Ukraine was going to send us firefighters for a lot of our wildfires, for example. So like all these countries around the world support each other. Democratic nations, free nations supporting each other is a really big deal in making sure the world stays more free, and so that like China and Russia cannot rise up and spread their communism.
Well, my disagreement is with NATO is that they're not keeping their part of the bargain. They're not even paying anywhere close to what they said they would pay. And it's similar to the whole situation with the Panama Canal. Panama Canal was built by the U.S., and I know I'm switching topics, but it's to explain to you how the rest of the countries treat us. The Panama Canal was an agreement in which either Panama runs it or the U.S. runs it because we built that canal. And what has happened, China's in there, and now it's a threat to us that China is in the canal, and now it's affecting us to the point where, China's in that mix there. So if China wants to run their navy there, and next thing you know, attack us through the Gulf of Mexico, they can do that because they have access to it. It's similar to NATO. Most of these countries have not agreed to what yeah, we'll give them protection. I do agree with Democratic.
I can tell you something really interesting about this
we
thing
all should be
too.
putting our fair share according to the agreement that has been
Do you
set
know
from the beginning
BlackRock?
of NATO, and that's what I'm getting at.
Do you know BlackRock, the company that people say buy up all the apartments and stuff?
Yeah, I disagree with. Yeah, BlackRock was the company that
I
was
want to
putting
tell you
a lot
something
of,
interesting about the
a lot
Panama Canal.
of
So
civilian security in Iraq too. I disagree with them getting involved. I do disagree with that. So I'm not
okay,
going to say.
do you know? No, but okay. So
100% supporter of
Blackwater is
Trump,
the
but
private security firm that did war crimes that Trump pardoned. Okay, but like BlackRock, you said Panama Canal was owned by China. So what happened with Panama Canal is Trump is really deep with big
I
money.
didn't say it's owned by China. I said China's in there, and now they're starting to affect
Hell outside. Wow. BlackRock is owned by, or Trump is really involved with like BlackRock and big money interests. So like two huge ports, Balboa and Cristobal, in Panama, were owned by a Hong Kong-based C.K. Hutchinson. That was another company, Hutchison, and they were owned by a Chinese-based company in Panama. So Trump helped BlackRock make these acquisitions. So when Trump attacked Panama, it was mainly because he wanted to get BlackRock those ports. So BlackRock was able to buy those ports from China, from Hong Kong. So now, So now, BlackRock, Trump basically attacked Panama and made up the thing about the Chinese people only so that BlackRock would be able to buy ports there, essentially. But I mean, it did go from a Chinese company to an American company. So if you think like BlackRock has America's best interest in mind, then you could be happy that BlackRock bought it. But Trump did attack Panama for the sole reason of helping BlackRock buy those ports in Panama.
Are you aware of China's movements through foreign affairs and the Silk Trade?
Yeah, and their whole Belt and Road Initiative and spreading in general, which is why I'm also against killing USAID. But
what's your opinion on all that?
I think that tariffing our allies and withdrawing our foreign aid is the best way to help a rising China. And if you look at China's stock market versus the U.S. and Russia's stock market, China and Russia are benefiting from the U.S. right now.
What we're doing with our own. I'm talking about what's your opinion on what China's doing with the Belt and Road Initiative. I'm asking you directly, what is your opinion on what China's doing?
They're going through smaller countries and getting them into bad financial deals so they can basically economically own. It's like a soft imperialism, the way they go about it. But the U.S. right now is going to lose a lot of ground to China if we stop giving foreign aid to countries. Because if we don't get foreign aid to countries, China will, and they'll help expand it'll help expand their Belt and Road Initiative.
Okay.
If we don't have things like USAID.
That's part of the reason I feel like America needs to stay stronger because of what China's doing. China has gotten to the point where they're even infiltrating Europe and Africa with the Belt and Road Initiative, and they're building these ports in these weak countries that are not able to pay them back. They actually did some very corrupt things with Sri Lanka in India. Well, not Sri Lanka, India, but it's so close to India, to where they pretty much ended up owning them ports. And then, you know, these are very unfair deals in which China ends up getting access to those ports, and then they could use their navy, and, you know, they could use their economy.
I understand that, but do you know what I mean, though, with the tariffs? Like, when we tariff our allies and countries around the world and start trade wars, those countries go to China for trade, so it strengthens China globally. And also, if we leave global organizations like the WHO and a bunch of other orgs, China gets all the influence there. So whenever the U.S. leaves, there's a reason. Like, if you look at the Hong Kong markets and the Chinese stock market and Russia as well, the U.S. stock market has taken a huge dip since Trump took office, and China and Russia are having like 5-year highs in their markets, and they're surging right now. And China's making a bunch of new deals globally because people don't know if they could trust the U.S. anymore, because we're starting random trade wars even with our closest allies like Canada. So we're helping China right now with our foreign policy. Trump is, and like Canada, I don't know why Canada. Canada's nice. They have maple syrup and stuff.
Well, if you look at Canada also, I mean, Trudeau wanted to stand up to Trump and actually ended up having to stand down because, and China's actually back. I mean, not China. Canada's actually back on the table to want to negotiate these things. So I feel like
what things?
Yeah, he'd be a little rash, but I also think that these are ways that he's able to negotiate with these countries. So
what are we negotiating right now? I don't know what we're negotiating.
The tariffs.
No, but like, why are we doing tariffs in general?
Because of the fact, I mean, he also stated that these are reciprocal tariffs. These are tariffs that these countries have already had on us, and he's matching the amount.
That's not true. These are new tariffs that Trump is doing. I don't know what tariffs Canada would have had that he's doing reciprocal tariffs for.
Tariffs us in any of the products that they put across the border, that pass across the border. They've never tariffed us.
We have the USMCA with Canada and Mexico. That's why it's so confusing, because Trump made that trade deal, and now Trump says the trade deal with Canada and Mexico sucks. So he's saying his own trade deal sucks. But we already had a trade deal that made this stuff very clear. The new tariffs Trump did are an act of trade war, and conflict with Canada, which is really weird. And Canada's doing reciprocal tariffs on American goods now. But there's no logical reason for tariffing Canada right now. I don't know if anyone has, like, I have not heard one good argument for it.
I think Trudeau was the first one to go back and forth with Trump, and look what happened with him. He's off the table now. They got a new leader now. And
well,
the new leader
that's because there's elections in Canada. The Conservative Party in Canada was just getting more popular. That's why Trudeau stepped down. Trudeau did not step down to anything to do with Trump. Actually, the Liberal Party in Canada was about to lose on a landslide to the Conservative Party, but Trump's trade war made the Liberal Party in Canada much more popular. So the Liberal Party might actually win the next elections because of Trump in Canada.
Well, I will say I disagree with a lot of your views, and I obviously have to do a lot more research. But I mean, the more I do research, the more. I mean, I'd say also read between the lines, because I mean, you know, I will say respectfully, you know, you do put out a good argument, a good debate, I would say, in your own point of views. But also, I do agree with America first. I do agree with taking care of our own first. And if, you know, I will be the first to say that if Trump is cutting more veteran jobs, I will disagree with that. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, if he's cutting jobs also to people who literally work from home, don't show up to an office, don't even do their job, and they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars to not
I don't know who
nothing.
you're talking about, bro. You're just hearing shit too. I know a lot of workers that, like, federal work, they might work 3 days in person, 2 days at home. That's normal. 3 days in person, 2 days at home is normal for an office job.
Respecting your view, I mean, I would ask for you, you know, with respectfully, to look at my view also, because
I just know about this stuff. You're talking about people I know that lives are being ruined. Their lives are being ruined because no one's doing their research. It matters.
Cutting veteran jobs, I do disagree with that. But to say that all veteran benefits are being cut, that's a lie, because every month I get my veteran disability every month, and that's never.
No, I'm saying that they're cutting staff. They're cutting vets' jobs. Okay, just because you were not affected yet does not mean it'll never affect anyone. I'm just saying they're cutting really vulnerable populations of vets, especially disabled vets.
Never be affected unless they completely took out the Constitution.
Okay, well, Trump is ignoring the Constitution, but that's a whole nother topic. But, like, okay, just to end this conversation, I appreciate you calling in. Thank you for the dialogue. And also, America first doesn't mean, in my opinion, and for a fact, America first can mean free trade. American first can mean supporting democracies. American first can mean foreign aid. Like, there's a reason America became the richest country in the world, most powerful country ever.
Say the word democracy. You know, this word gets thrown around, and there's nowhere in the Constitution does it say.
Okay, supporting free countries. Supporting free countries is good. A constitutional republic is a democracy, by the way. But either way, It's still it's a representative democracy. It's still a form of democracy. Just because we're not like a direct democracy does not mean we're not a democracy. But in general, America first is a slogan. It's nothing more than a slogan. Tariffs are not American first. Hurting our allies in North America is not America first. Ruining our trade deals, ruining our foreign relations, ruining our partners around the world, ruining our allies, shutting down our trade routes and helping China and Russia. It is not helping America. It's not American first. Cutting off America's lumber supply from tariffing by tariffing Canada is not American first. We have really good deals with these countries that benefit both countries. And America right now in the world stage is really bad right now. We have a very unfavorable. Countries view us as very unfavorable right now because they don't know if we could trust us with Trump. America's respect globally is only respected. We're only being respected at all by like Russia and China and North Korea because those authoritarian countries love what Trump's doing because Trump's helping them. But like American first does not mean isolationism. It does not mean being afraid. It does not mean never doing anything progressive ever. American first can mean a lot of things. But American first, if people just repeat that as a slogan, a lot of the times they're just using it because it sounds good. It just sounds good. You need to hear you need to get actual concrete plans on what they're doing. Is all I would say. But I thank you for calling in. Okay, I don't know if he's here anymore. Yeah, thank you if you're still on the line. Have a good night. He did not respond to me saying good night. How am I gonna sleep if he's not gonna say good night? How am I gonna sleep? How am I gonna sleep? How am I gonna sleep now? How am I gonna sleep? How am I gonna sleep tonight, dude? How am I gonna sleep tonight? How am I gonna sleep tonight? Sleeping. The Democrats didn't even get up and clap for the kid. The Democrats really should have clapped for the kid just because they need to understand how the propaganda works, bro. They need to understand it. Like, they should have clapped for the freaking kid. They obviously should have. Like, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer. Thank you guys for watching. I appreciate the viewership, appreciate the likes and the subscriptions. I know it's Sunday night, people have work tomorrow. Appreciate you joining me. If you do have any money laying around, I could definitely appreciate donations. I'm having a donation goal of $500 a week, which is pretty high, but we have some rich people who watch this show, like Jeff, if he ever shows up. JK. But yeah, that's just up there for a goal to meet. I don't need to meet it, but it's just it's an aspiration, not a goal. But if you have any donations for Cash App, PayPal, or Venmo, please consider sending it through Jolah Politics. It's at Jolah Politics on Venmo, Cash App, or PayPal, or you can donate through the coffee link. I have it pinned to the chat right now. It's that link you see down there, coffee.com/Jolah Politics. Really appreciate all the donations. The world's getting pretty scary and pretty crazy, so I'll be out here putting my name and my image to that, but I do need some support. I do appreciate it. I might be running for Congress. I don't know. I'm probably not going to, but I might. I probably am going to tomorrow. File to run for Congress. I don't know yet, but I might. And if you donate money, the more money you donate, the more likely I will run for Congress. Okay, guys. Let's see. There's no other callers. I don't know if I have anything else to go over right now. Thank you for $1.50, Barry Ross. I appreciate the donations. Okay, if you don't have the money, don't do it. Okay, yeah. If you don't have money, don't donate. Thank you for $3, Glenn. Thank you, Glenn. Thank you, Glenn. Yeah, obviously you don't. I always say that too. If you don't have it, don't give it. All right, kids. Let's see where we're at with this. I'll take one more caller if someone wants to call. Maybe. I don't know. How are you guys doing tonight? I'm just gonna talk to the chat for a second. Decide what to do next. 2026. Are you an American? Or are you that weird type that live in Oregon and Cali? Eagles fan. Did you call in before? Sticking up for Mexico and China? No, Trump's the one helping China. Trump, maybe he got the C countries wrong, like Canada and China. Maybe he means to hurt China, but he's hurting Canada instead. Like, why would it make sense to have, like, think about this. With fentanyl, for example. Why would it make sense to have the lowest % taxes on Chinese imports most of the fentanyl comes from shipping from China. Okay, the synthetic drugs like that have historically came from China. Why are we tariffing Canada and Mexico more than China? Why are we tariffing Canada more than Mexico or China? It makes no sense. When they seize like one piece of fentanyl, like a gram of fentanyl per year in Canada. Why would that make any sense, Trump supporters? What's going on? Tell me why. Why are we giving preferential treatment to China? I really want to understand your logic. And also economically, the big person, the manufacturer, okay, the big, not person, the country that manufactures goods is China. Why does China have lower tariffs, all right, than Canada or Mexico? Why? Make it make sense. And also, tariffs are import taxes. You pay tariffs when you import goods. Businesses pay tariffs when they import goods. It's an import tax. That's what a tariff is. The first round of Trump tariffs actually lost manufacturing jobs, the very limited ones, the very limited tariffs. It lost manufacturing jobs because the input costs for the businesses, the material costs and input costs, which are the same thing, but material input costs rose. It got bigger because tariffs were taxing U.S. businesses. So those U.S. businesses actually laid off workers as a result of Trump's tariffs. So like tariffs are not American first at all, or American first, or whatever you guys say. Make it make sense. Can you make it make sense? I don't know if you can. Not really. Yeah. What's this guy? Who's this guy? Oh, God. Proud to bring him.
Hey, how's it going?
Hi, this is YouTube guy. What's up?
Hey. I actually just went on the chat and I messaged, but I guess you called me back right away.
All right, awesome. By the way, just really quick, Coca in chat. Thank you so much for the donation, Coca. Thank you for talking about politics. Thank you. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Okay. Yeah, what's up?
Okay, so why do you think Trump is terrible? Like in contrast to who?
Well, he is really violating a lot of the Constitution as president. He lied about the 2020 election being stolen. He blamed the Capitol police officers for everything. He called them the enemy. He pardoned the assailants from that event. He compliments Kim Jong-un, who's a brutal dictator that kills Americans, and Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping. And he really insults the leaders of our fellow like allies, like Canada and the EU in general, and Mexico. He insults our allies, and he seems to suck up to dictators, and he tells people that freedom of speech should be illegal, and like you should be banned if you write something negative about him. He's doing illegal deportations right now that are including like innocent people being sent to Salvadorian prisons. So all those things, and tariffs right now, the economy is going down a lot. Consumer confidence is at the lowest level since the pandemic. And yeah, there's a lot of bad things he does, in my opinion.
Consumer confidence is at the lowest since the pandemic, as in how are the consumer confidence lower?
Consumer outlook for like how they view the economics for moving forward. Even Trump himself said that he thinks there's going to be a recession, or he wouldn't be. He's not going to predict. He refused to say if there's going to be a recession or not. He seemed to think there's going to be a recession, but they said that before he got elected. Elon Musk said they were going to intentionally crash the economy before Trump won. So.
Well, I guess I kind of viewed that there's probably going to be a crash coming around the corner anyways. We're kind of
well, I mean, usually like crashes are global, but the U.S. right now, like Hong Kong and Russia are shooting up. The EU is still growing. The only country globally that's a first world country that's going down economically is the U.S. So we are actually going against global trends. There's not these are global crashes that do. You're right, they do happen, but this crash is directly caused by the tariffs. Like it is just the tariffs causing this huge crash directly.
I mean, in the case of the tariffs, is it like, in a sense, it's you have the manufacturing that is actually going to get pushed back to the U.S. in a sense compared to.
See, the hard part about that is if Trump's gonna just like change his mood every day, if he's gonna be moody and put tariffs on places and take them away the next day, that makes makes investors freeze because they want a long-term or mid-term outlook. They want some stability so they know where to invest. So when Trump is like taking them away, putting them back on, and all that kind of stuff, it takes a while to move your production to different countries. So on the face of it, that takes a long time. You need a real economic policy to do that, not just like emergency power because the tariffs he does are the president can only do those for national security purposes. So he claims he's doing it because of fentanyl, which makes zero logical sense with somewhere like Canada, and it would make zero sense why, like I said earlier, like why would they tariff Canada more than China for fentanyl? So you need a real economic policy to do that. You need to probably subsidize manufacturing in America. And I would also bring up the first term when Trump did tariffs. We actually lost manufacturing jobs. And I know people that because of the tariffs on lumber from Canada that might lose their jobs, because when companies have higher input costs for materials they need from other countries, then they lay off workers much of the
There's
time. So
also
this is
people
really
who've
complicated.
gained jobs or not had their jobs lost because of plants not moving. Like Honda,
but if you're not gonna, without a
plant.
long-term economic strategy, do you know what I mean? If he's gonna take them on and off every day, depending on if he's like having cramps or not, it makes it difficult for a business to plan for that. You know what I mean? Like that needs to be a long-term economic strategy, not just something he does because of his emotions.
But I guess in case of you saying like, oh yeah, well there's some that lost some, and then there's always going to be some that gain some. So I guess it depends on who gains or loses more.
Well, like the global economy, doing trade with other countries, it has increased American wages. Our unemployment rate is still really low. The only argument for manufacturing in America is national security. If we need to produce certain things here to be more like stable on our own, if there ever was like a world war.
An actual pretty big deal, considering COVID kind of showed that being a
yeah, for sure. But if that's what Trump was doing, by the way, working with like Congress or something, I'd agree. But he's waking up every day, and you saw it too, right? He turned the tariffs off and on. I think he turned the tariffs off and on again like 15 times already. So like that's the worst way to manage an economy.
I can agree with that but I could see him using it as a negotiating tool where it is kind of unpredictable. I guess that could be a negative and a positive depending on
negotiating for what
it.
is what I usually ask. Like, what is he negotiating for? Like with Canada?
Well, I do think when it comes to talks, I'm pretty sure there's probably a little bit more than just what's ever on the surface level.
Well, he negotiated the trade deal we have with Canada right now his first term, the USMCA. That's his trade deal. He said, like, I know he said the other day, he's like, what kind of dumbass made this trade deal with Canada? This sucks. What kind of dumbass made this? And it was him. He's the one that made the trade deal, and he's complaining about it now. I'm like, what is he doing? I don't know. I don't understand.
To be fair, I'm not that much of a fan of Canada's labor laws. Like when you try to go to Canada to work over there, they make sure that no one in Canada can do it before you can go over there. I mean, in Mexico, we don't have, like in Mexico, there's no such deal. So I can kind of see how maybe there's a little bit more of a benefit in that case. But if you try to go to Canada, there has to be a proven fact that there's nobody else in Canada that can perform the task before you can do it.
As far as like, okay, but for like what? Yeah, but for the purpose of the tariffs that Trump is taking on and off on these different goods, I just don't understand it. And I said before to someone else that when Trump starts random trade wars with our allies, it makes the U.S. seem like a very untrustworthy partner for military alliances and also trade deals. So a lot of these countries are turning towards China.
Isn't that kind of a sentence of trade where we can't even perform labor over there, but they don't really get any reprimand for that?
But like, okay, I'm just gonna take your word for it that that's a policy. Trump has not mentioned anything to do with labor his entire presidency. So if you have an issue with that and you don't like Canada for that reason, for whatever the policy is, cool.
I just don't agree with it.
It's still the general stance that we're going to tariff the EU and Canada and China and say we're going to invade Greenland and Panama. Meanwhile, we're helping China get more power globally. I just feel like we need to look at the entire global stage and realize we're helping China get huge wins because the U.S. is being untrustworthy as a partner.
Well, during President Biden's term, I mean, we pretty much gave China a lot of manufacturing and so on and so forth. There was nothing that we did in a positive sense to actually push any
well, Joe
manufacturing
Biden
over
actually
here.
tariffed China more than Trump did, and Biden also passed the Chips and Science Act to increase manufacturing of chips in America, which is probably the most pro-America, anti-China policy we've seen an American president do. So like China, like Joe Biden's approach to China is actually tougher on China than Trump's is.
Is it
Trump's
actually quite a bit higher than it is right now?
But Biden targeted the tariffs in specific areas and focused on building up our ability to produce chips in America. Trump's being harder on.
But why
Canada
not any other products? I mean, it does seem kind of weird for
because for national security purposes, then you'd have to focus on that. So like for example, if you want America to build more like batteries and chips and solar panels, you would tariff solar panels from China, and then hopefully build that here and subsidize it at the same time. That's what the Chips and Science Act kind of does for a lot of different like chips and precious metals that we are trying to mine here eventually or hopefully get here from different countries. So yeah, there's Biden Biden's strategy of subsidizing businesses here and also tariffing certain goods from China is much more like American first than just like doing blanket tariffs with every country. And then like, why would you have only 10% tariffs for China and then 25% tariffs for Canada?
I guess in the case of like a blanket tariff, it seems like you're supporting one industry more than you're supporting the others. Because in the case of
but that should be the purpose, though. That should be the purpose. That should be for national security for specific injuries or specific industries that you need to support. Yeah, that's what it should be. Across the board tariffs kills your economy.
I mean, but in the same case, we support them in any other case of manufacturing. Like we haven't done anything else to do it besides chips.
Okay, all I'm saying is, like, for small businesses in America, for example, or for consumers, tariffs are an import tax on the American people. You're telling the American people you cannot buy from Canada or China or Mexico without paying an extra tax to the American government. We are taxing you if you import any goods at all from these companies, or countries, I mean, from the countries or companies. So if you're going to tax American citizens, you don't want to tax American citizens on every product they buy from a certain country. So you'd hyper-target those. And it just, like, economically... Let's just say it, like over the last like 100 years, in an analysis of like 150 countries, tariffs have never resulted in good economic outcomes. And tariffs actually made the Great Depression far worse because we did tariffs then.
So no other countries does Canada have zero tariffs against us?
So
besides
the tariffs
now, of course, obviously.
Well, Canada had tariffs, for example. I want to look up the exact policy. So Trump brings up there's a tariff on it's 290%. On dairy products or like other farming, but Trump said this was a tax on everything that's like an import to Canada from America. But the tariff for Canada, let me see, tariff U.S. dairy. I want to get the exact numbers really quick. Like this is an example of a targeted tariff. So Canada has a supply management system. So there's no tariffs at all under a certain limit. So if it's within a quota, then you can sell anything in Canada. But if they ever have an economic issue or if they get flooded with products, then you cannot, like if you sell a certain amount of milk or whatever, or dairy from America and Canada, then you'd have tariffs to cut it off at a certain point, essentially. But there's nothing across the board, and there's nothing similar to what like Trump wants to do to these countries now.
But I guess in the case of, yes, there's a point of it being a disadvantage in the case of global trade, but in the case of national manufacturing, if we are being outwaged and being outproduced in a sense, because we don't have, like if you own a factory and you can't compete with the neighboring country's wage that they're able to do, wouldn't a tariff kind of benefit you in a sense if you're in the United States?
Well, if the other country, you mean if the other country pays cheaper wages?
Yeah, because they would have lower production costs overall compared to in the U.S.
Well, the fact is that American businesses benefit from free trade and getting like different materials that might be sourced from these countries. Well, they definitely do. That's why we lost jobs from the first tariffs, because the input cost for these businesses was increased a lot, because we cannot make not only can we not make every resource in America, but the resources we can't make them to the amount that we need to supply all of America. So lumber's a good example. If we tariff Canada, we don't have the supply of trees. We don't have a supply of trees in America to replace the trees from Canada that we're going to tariff. So
we actually replace our own trees, though, at this moment. We're not even at a loss. We're at a growth.
But when we do tariffs on Canadian lumber, we end up getting lumber from like Russia. So like we'd have to kill all of our national forests.
Well, I'm saying
and
as
still
far
run out
as
of trees.
U.S. rate, we have our national forests grow more than they get cut down, and we supply. But at the same time, we have a growth rate where we don't have a loss.
Yeah, because we import a lot of lumber. That's why we don't have a loss. We would have a loss if we said we want to only use American trees. We'd kill all of our national parks completely, and we'd be at a loss. We would eventually drain them.
How long would it take?
I don't know.
Well, how much of a loss? I mean, like at the same point, if there's a number, it's not like we're at a huge loss.
That's the point of free trade. Like, for example, a lot of oil and trees are in Canada, so they're good at that. There's comparative advantage. They can sell that to us, and we can sell other things to them, and it benefits both of us because we get cheap goods from them, and they get something from us. So, like, these trade deals, like the USMCA, that's why we negotiate trade deals. If Trump thinks his trade deal sucks, the USMCA, he should renegotiate it. But Trump has not said anything about renegotiating any trade deals at all. And if he cared about economics, he would be doing that.
Across both.
The USMCA directly talks about tariffs.
Isn't technically a negative.
The USMCA, yes, it is, because it hurts both economies. It just hurts both economies. Because you're charging taxes. You're taxing your citizens 25% more on all goods.
You charge income tax. You charge all these other taxes. But the
Charging 25% more taxes on mostly working class people and small businesses is a really bad thing. Corporations benefit because they can.
You do that anyway.
The price
There's
effects.
not even a difference.
We're adding an extra flat tax on everyone. We're adding an extra 25% tax on the people. That's not a good thing for either economy.
But no, actually, I would say that's actually it's not a full 25% tax. I would say a sales tax is a full 8%.
We don't have to talk theoretically. Tariffs do not work for economies. There's no economist anywhere. Thomas Sowell, Friedman, the most free market economists in history, the most free market, the most liberal, the most leftist, they all agree tariffs suck for the economy. There's no one that agrees that tariffs are good for the economy. I don't even know what else to say. It's just the markets function terribly if there's tariffs involved, and we're taxing the poorest people in America more in order to do this, so we can get more tax cuts to rich people. It just none of this makes any sense.
Does China have less tariffs than us? I'm actually going to look it up right now.
I don't care. I really don't care about that.
Well, I mean, in the case of you're saying that if they're having a growing economy and we're not, then they have tariffs and we don't. Or if they have more tariffs than us in a certain case, then is it a negative? Why do they have tariffs?
Then we wouldn't do across-the-board tariffs then. We would do targeted tariffs that are reciprocal if that was the case.
I can see targeted in a sense, but I also feel like that's a lobbied case because at the same point, it's like,
it's still bad for the economy, regardless.
Well, I think us not producing things here is bad for the economy because I think we have lost quite a bit of manufacturing jobs as a whole.
Manufacturing jobs.
Manufacturing
we have better
skills.
jobs now. We have better jobs now than manufacturing jobs in America. We get paid more now. The working class, adjusted for inflation, made more money under Biden than any time in American history. Americans are just really apt at complaining now. Yeah, that's true.
After inflation.
Yeah, after inflation, even adjusted for inflation.
So the median wage is what, $38,000?
Because of the tight labor market.
America?
That's because the unemployment rate is really low, so the wages got pushed up, upward wage pressure because of the labor market being so tight. Yeah.
So the median wage is $38,000. What was it
the
under
Department
Trump?
of Labor or the Labor Bureau of Labor Statistics?
What was the U.S. median wage under Trump?
I don't know. I just remember reading the data about during
2018.
And you could say it's just because of the tight labor markets, but also Trump didn't do anything to the economy really. He had the tax cuts.
I'd rather look up the number and see what it is, because the median household wage in 2018 for year-round workers was $40,247.
I don't know why we think base level manufacturing are luxurious jobs. Americans got richer after we got rid of those. I agree. We should bring.
Well,
some
I mean, I guess you think of it as a low-level job, but in the same case, there's plenty of.
No. Objectively, they don't pay well. They just don't pay well, and they have bad conditions.
There's plenty of people that are making 200, 300 in manufacturing.
Do you think the manufacturing jobs that we're going to bring back are going to pay 6 digits?
Yeah. I 100% agree because I work in manufacturing.
What manufacturing jobs do you think factory workers make 6 digits? We're talking about factory workers, right?
We're talking about everything that goes to support a factory. You have a lot of technicians that have to run the equipment because, I mean, in today's age, it's more of an automated task than it is a hand labor task. I mean, maybe in 1940 when you had a lot more manual labor machines, but in today's age, a lot of the equipment is automated. I mean, in China, they have pick and place machines for all the chip. You think they're hand assembling boards? They're not hand assembling boards.
Okay. I guess we'll make T-shirts in America. Do you think we'll ever make T-shirts in America?
We do make T-shirts in America. There's plenty of brands. I actually bought some.
Okay.
They're like $7 a piece if you buy them wholesale.
Okay, so the economy will get worse. Okay, so you have to balance. I don't know. Tariffs are bad. Okay, tariffs are bad for the economy, but you're saying that's okay. Even if it's bad
I'm saying
for the
that
economy,
it could actually level the playing field when it comes to, like, let's say T-shirts, where they might be able to benefit from the cheaper labor and be able to sell each unit at like $3-4, but a tariff might push them at 5-6, where that barrier to entry, where you might maybe I will buy an American shirt for $7, where there's only $1 per unit difference. And the supply chain will support it better.
If you're okay with taking hits in the economy, none of it makes sense. I'm sorry. It's just we don't have the resources in America to make all this stuff. We could look up different areas.
Well, we don't have the resources because we gave it all away.
No, we just don't.
I mean, of course. Well, no. Why did we stop having resources? It's because we gave it all away.
No, we don't black.
We give it all the way all the time. We
minerals
give
in
it away to
America.
Mexico. There's factories
mean
that we're
give
going
it
to leave to
away?
Mexico. All the tooling, all the injection molding, all the dyes, all the steel. What do you call it? The presses. We get rid of a lot of manufacturing in America. I mean, I was kind of impressed by the fact that Honda wanted to keep their jobs here.
For 2028.
They were planning on moving. I'm happy that BMW still runs out of Spartanburg.
Okay.
But BMW is a higher
Biden had
value
more
price.
manufacturing job increase than Trump did.
Well, is that counting because COVID laid everyone off and then put them back in, or is that?
Yes. Yeah, we had
count?
all-time
is
high
it
energy independence.
pre-pandemic?
We had all-time high energy independence in 2023 as well under Biden.
How much higher though? I mean,
It was still it's higher than we are now. It's higher than we were in 70 years. It's higher than we were under Trump.
I mean, of course you're going to have. So if you use more energy in a sense, so you're saying that we had more energy independence and then now we want global trade. So we don't want to. We want to be more energy independent, but we don't want to use energy from Canada. In your sense, it's better to be more energy independent. But you want to also make sure that we have less. So, would you prefer that we be less energy independent or more?
I don't care. It doesn't really change the global oil markets because they sell it globally regardless. They'd have to nationalize the oil companies to keep it in America. It's a stupid argument regardless. But do you support the Keystone XL pipeline? Because Trump talks about that a lot.
I haven't heard about what he said so far about it.
Okay.
But is he in support or not in support?
He wants it. He said it's a tragedy Biden ended it.
I mean, I would be supporting a pipeline for sure.
Well, it's all from Canada, so it'd be tariffed.
Yeah, it'd be tariffs, but at least there would be a better supply chain. I mean, we run on supply chain. I mean, if the cost is up, but at least the supply is not going to dwindle.
What if you had to?
I mean,
like
I live
increase...
in California where we have a terrible supply chain for fuel. That's why we have such drastic spikes.
If you had
to
increase poverty in America and increase prices and make America fall from being a global leader in order to bring manufacturing back to America, would that be a worthy trade for you?
Well, you don't have to have a stat like a one or the other. You
yeah,
can
you
definitely
do.
play.
You cannot be strong economically if you're isolationist. No, you cannot. No, just in a matter of fact.
No, you can definitely bring manufacturing back to America without having to completely cut yourself off from the world.
Yeah, no, when it comes to America being the global superpower in any sense, no, you cannot. You need to be involved in free trade to help prevent wars, to help make sure you have enough resources coming in and out, to make sure you have trade deals, to make sure you're a part of global organizations that keep the world more structured when it comes to even like diseases spreading, and just in general, cybersecurity. Every purpose of keeping the world safer in America and a good position, it's important to have good relationships with your trade partners.
But I mean, wouldn't that be more up to the companies?
What?
I mean, I guess you could say tariffs are bad in a sense, but I mean, they have the equal right to tariff us in the same manner. So is it a one-way street where
you're cutting off America from trading with these countries, with our allies? So you're making.
How are you cutting them off? You're not banning the trade. You're just putting a tariff on it.
Okay, listen up. Okay, if you tariff a country, do you think they're going to keep on selling in America and keep on working with America? Or do you think they're more likely to look for other partners if you're going to be tariffing countries and if you're going to be untrustworthy when it comes to our military alliances? Do you think they'll look for other options by chance?
Well, it's not the government that decides if
do you think they'll look for other options? Do you think companies in Canada, if you tariff their goods, do you think they'll look for America or look for routes to do other trade with other countries that are more reliable and more stable?
More reliable, I guess it depends on what you say is more reliable.
If America is going to tariff its allies and threaten its allies with military invasion like Greenland and Canada, do you think it makes it more likely for our allies to look to other countries for trade deals such as China?
Would they want to deal with China?
There's
so many questions in this case because it's not really.
If America's going to commit economic suicide and try to bring its allies down with it, then yes, they might look to other trade routes. That's what they're going to do because America's not trustworthy.
To a communist China. in a sense.
Yeah, yes, yes, and
we'll
yeah,
get
and I
with
think
you
it's
on the
bad. I
military.
think that's bad because China's getting influence because America's economic policy is so dog shit. Because so China's gaining influence. Yeah, China loves this shit. Russia loves the Trump presidency. North Korea loves it. They all love it. Yeah, they're doing great right now.
I mean, China, in a sense, is, I guess that's where it is a little bit tricky in a sense, where you have, but at the same point, it's not like China is going to be, they're taking away from certain aspects of like U.S. growth. Because yes, you can go ahead and you can do trade with them, but at the same time, you always risk the fact of not being able to have your own manufacturing or whatever the case is. So now, let's say we did go to war with China. Let's say we had free trade and we pushed all our manufacturing over there, or at least we gave a majority. I wouldn't say all, but we went on the downward trend of giving up our jobs for manufacturing jobs, and we gave it to China. We went to war with them. What happens?
I
Now we
already
have no
said
supplies.
you could focus on subsidizing manufacturing in America for emergency areas.
Well,
that you
subsidizing is
need.
kind of BS in a sense, because what does that come from? That comes from the taxpayer.
Where do tariffs pull from if you tariff American importers?
They pull from the transaction of the item coming into the U.S.
So you slow economic transactions. You hurt our trade deals with other countries. You hurt
Well,
our
I mean, you can
economic
still
activity.
purchase from items that are in the U.S.
Okay, shut up for
without a
1
tariff.
second, dude. 'Cause you don't understand any of this at all. You literally have no grasp
No,
of how this works at all.
well,
No,
you-
when you talk about subsidies right now, American goods, okay, if you have tariffs, you tax the American people for importing goods that they currently get from other countries or materials that they make goods with from other countries. You're taxing the American people through tariffs. It's going to cost the American people much more through tariffs to do this plan without any clear-cut initiative to focus on these key industries that are for national security. With subsidies, you can hyper-focus in areas that you need to make America more safe and more secure, which is what Biden did. But this blanket, just like bullshit tariff thing, it hurts America economically. It hurts the American consumers. Goods cost more, and it costs more because they have to move base level manufacturing back to some type of North American country, and they don't even know. Companies don't even know if the tariffs are going to be there tomorrow because Trump changes them every single day. So what happens then is you cannot hyper-focus. Honda moving their factory back, and that's like a 2028 announcement, which is like not even confirmed. But Honda moving a factory back to America is not going to be national security focused. Okay, if you want to talk about like national security concerns, you need to subsidize different industries directly.
moving.
Just not do dumbass tariffs. The tariffs don't work. That cost the American people far more than subsidizing things do. Across the board, tariffs are just stupid. Across the board is stupid. Why is Trump? Do you think it's going to help American manufacturing that Trump is going to tariff European champagne?
Okay, so what other products besides European champagne? Because that's
Why is Trump tariffing European champagne? Why is he
People
doing that?
pay how much for champagne?
Why is he tariffing
I mean,
European
that is an
champagne?
example.
I have
I
a
mean,
question.
what
Why is he
other-
tariffing? Okay, if the tariff's goal is national security, okay, and manufacturing, why is he tariffing European champagne?
Why wouldn't he? I mean,
Why
at
is
that
he
point, it's
tariffing
also
European champagne? Why is he tariffing European champagne? What benefit does that give the U.S.?
taxes.
So for base level manufacturing security concerns, we need to make more champagne in
Well,
America.
at that point, it's an income of taxes. I mean, we're in a national debt of like 126% to.
So you're like
national debt to
okay, if
GDP.
it's not for so you're like okay, yeah, let's raise taxes on people.
Well, I mean, the Democrat
for
Party
the
is the one that
EU.
loves to raise the taxes because I mean,
Okay,
Trump's,
well, you're literally saying
tax
taxes are okay if your Trump sexual daddy will do it. Okay, you're literally you're advocating for tax
no, because
increases.
I'm saying actually, if anything,
Why?
Trump actually helped reduce people's taxes mostly by the tax plan because he doubled the standard deduction and he actually
How
increased
does it
the taxes
help
on the rich in a
American?
sense
Okay,
because he
how
got rid
does
of
it?
salt.
No, he did not increase taxes on the
Well,
rich.
not
There's
get
got a
rid, but
huge
he-
tax cut.
Okay, how?
why?
How did he not?
Why?
What mathematical
why are we?
equation
Hey,
doesn't
why are we
equate to less
tariffing?
taxes?
What benefit to American national security does tariffing champagne from Europe have?
Let's go back to the taxes because I mean, you said that he doesn't.
No,
he didn't
okay,
lower
yeah,
the
you're
tax.
saying let's go back to the point where you can actually defend because you know it's bullshit. So why is Trump tariffing these industries that have nothing to do with American manufacturing? Why is he tariffing lumber
Well,
from
I mean,
Canada?
in the case of European champagne, what's the big deal of taxing that? If anything, that's a luxury tax, isn't it? Because as far as I know, people making like 30K are probably not buying luxurious.
Okay, why are
European
we
champagne.
increasing taxes on the American people? Why are we increasing their taxes?
In the case of Well, I guess it's a trade-off tax,
You're
right?
a
Because
slimy
it's not
one.
necessary.
You're slimy.
Well,
You're real
no,
slimy.
I'm not
No,
slimy.
you're slimy. Yeah,
no,
you
you're
are.
just calling me
You literally.
slimy. No,
you
I'm
literally.
saying it, no, because
Dude,
you're
I can bring
saying
up any
that
tariff
it
for
has to be
different
a tax.
countries.
It's a tax on the
You are
American people.
contradicting yourself more than
No, I'm
you are
not.
contradicting yourself. Yeah, you are contradicting yourself with every freaking sentence. Like, unironically, if I bring up tariffs from China or Canada or the European Union, you have different arguments for all of them that contradict each other. Like, do you want to raise taxes on the American people?
Where's the contradiction?
Why are we doing tariffs? What's the main point for doing tariffs? What's the main point?
I would actually say that the tariffs are probably more for bringing manufacturing back. That's one item, not all of it. It's not a blanket statement. I would say it's for that and also for tax revenue. They can say that it's for the national defense. I don't really agree with that because there's other methods that can be done.
Okay, so tax revenue. Okay, so we're taxing the American people more for tax revenue. Okay.
So, in the case of, how would it be more? In a sense?
So
It would only be more
research
under
from,
certain situations, wouldn't it?
So the National Bureau of Economic Research and our Federal Reserve Board study and Tax Foundation analysis saw that Trump's original tariffs actually decreased manufacturing employment by 2% in total. There were some gains. There were 0.3% in gains.
Well, within the last month? 2 months?
Okay, so from the tariffs, no, his first administration, he was president before, if you were awake for that.
Okay.
So during his first term.
Oh, wait, are we counting at the end of COVID or are we counting at the beginning?
Can you let me finish a damn sentence?
Okay.
Okay.
Go
There were
ahead,
modest
go ahead.
gains. The gains in manufacturing from shielding businesses in America from tariffs were 0.3% in growth. But like I said before, the economic input costs to these businesses included more reductions in employment because more companies laid workers off because business got more expensive to do because of tariffs and retaliatory tariffs. And also, if we don't have good trade deals, our farmers in America export a lot of soybeans. Our businesses export a lot of items in general. A lot of small businesses and small farmers are going to die because of Trump's trade wars. So according to when it comes to manufacturing jobs, this is not going to help that without actually subsidizing because that's how this shit works. When it comes to our trade deals, okay, we're going to have less trust globally. We're going to have less money for Americans. Goods are going to become more expensive. Americans are going to become taxed more. We're going to cut taxes for ultra wealthy in America and run higher deficits while taxing working class people even more with tariffs. And also for national security purposes, we're not hyper-focusing any specific area for national security. We're just causing trade wars with our own allies. And that, by the way, national security-wise, the last thing you would do, and I know the Trumpers in chat are super happy because this is complicated and complicated topics. You guys look great here because you could just be dumbasses because you don't understand most of it. But for North America, for American safety, becoming enemies with Canada, which is a huge country for resources for America. We have a great relationship with them. We have a perfect relationship with Canada. There's no reason to be attacking them. If we want America to be safer globally and be more self-sustainable, it should be all of North America being more sustainable. That's the point of USMCA. That's the point of NAFTA. There is no reality in which we can survive as America just being alone, okay? If we had to become isolationist in terms of Canada and Mexico, if there was a war or something, that's what we should be focusing on. There is zero world in which any goal for American society will be benefited by tariffing Canada and causing divisions with our allyship with Canada and Mexico. There's zero benefit from that at all.
There's zero benefit. So if there's manufacturing jobs that are getting sent to Mexico because it's too expensive to perform the U.S. because they have an advantage over us, in the case of Mexico, with labor mainly as a production cost, because it's not really the manufacturing equipment that's the same cost regardless. It's going to get shipped in from whatever country that they purchase it from.
We have trade deals with Mexico. We can talk about these things in trade deals, not random emotional tariffs. Do trade deals.
So what trade deal has been done that has prevented the jobs from leaving to Mexico?
You know, you're a big boy. You know the trade deals, right?
Well, I know multiple.
Say the trade deals for
companies
America.
that have shut down. I've actually helped the companies
Say the
shut
trade deal
down
for America.
to move them to
for
Mexico.
America.
I perform the training over in Mexico.
Okay, what are the trade deals?
I actually go over there and train.
What are the trade deals? What are they called?
There's not really any. I haven't seen any in the last decade. That ever prevented any jobs from leaving to Mexico.
Just name the trade deals.
I mean, even under Trump's term, he didn't even have that much of an aggressive stance in the first go. He didn't. And as you said, he didn't have any aggressive stance. If anything, Biden was more aggressive.
Were you just born yesterday? You said you help companies close down and work with international trade, but you don't know what the trade deals are? You don't know anything about the trade deals? Are you serious?
What trade deals then?
Name the trade deals.
Listen.
Name the trade deals for North America.
Because you're the one acting like I don't know.
You're the professional. You're the professional. You're acting like you don't know because you're not telling me. What are the trade deals called?
No,
Name
you're
one
not
of the trade
telling
deals
me. You're like, wow,
Canada
you don't
and Mexico.
know? So what is
Tell me
it?
what the trade deals are. No, you have to prove it because you don't know. Google real
Well,
quick.
I know we
Google.
had free trade, and we kept on going back and forth. And there's companies that right across the border.
Trade. Did anything with
free
trade
trade
happen under Trump? Did anything change under our trade with Canada and Mexico under Trump the first time around?
It was anything more free trade, wasn't it?
Oh, this is so sweet. Okay, well, your entire facade is falling apart right now. I hope you know that.
I don't know the details that much. I just know when I've gone over there.
Details. I know you know.
Well, I don't know the details that much because I go over there and I just do the work.
Okay,
and I have to go and check in and then go.
No,
show
how
my
it works is
work
so like
permit.
when if you work in business, you would know that like doing emotional tariffs every day, and tariffs can only be done unilaterally by the president without Congress for national security concerns. So Trump lied about fentanyl with Canada, for example. He's using
I can
that
say
for
that he probably
justification.
did that.
So like for economic policy, like regardless, the way Trump is doing this is terrible. Off and on, every other day, having a call with the leader where they like suck him off for a second. And he's like, "Fine, I'll take the tariffs off." That is not a way to do this at all. So that's like bad economic policy. Even if he's that's the opinion of anyone in the world. Taking tariffs on and off is
anyone in the world. Obviously not him.
Do you think it's good economic? Obviously not him. I hate you, dude. You're the worst. You're the worst person to ever call in here. I wouldn't even.
What got you to giggle, right?
No, because I can't tell when you're being serious or not. So, anyways, do you know the trade deals? Are you kidding about that too?
I mean, I would have to look them up. I don't recall them off the top of my head.
So at the USMCA, Trump said it's his crowning achievement. He talked about the USMCA nonstop because NAFTA. He said he ran on NAFTA being terrible for American workers. He said NAFTA, what you're saying right now, NAFTA made us lose manufacturing jobs. So Trump renegotiated NAFTA, added USMCA, which is just like NAFTA Part 2 or V2, whatever. And now we're under USMCA, which is Trump's deal that he now talks shit about. If you want to make long-term adjustments to the economy, if you're not just trying to like scare countries or start conflicts, you would negotiate tariffs, which he did the first time around. Joe Biden also negotiated tariffs with Canada to change some of their thresholds for certain tariffs. You would make that change. You would make those changes in the actual trade deals. Okay, you would go through the USMCA, say, hey, we want USMCA Part 3, NAFTA Part 3, and fix it there. What Trump's doing right now is not even real policy. So the fact anyone's even defending it makes you want to go outside and jump into a puddle and drown.
I can see the upset part about it, like where it is not probably standard procedure, nor is it's probably a very gray area because he's playing that gray area. I think he is using it as a leverage tool. I think he is. I mean, you can disagree.
For what? Leverage for what? What is it? What concession is he trying to get?
Probably when it came to Mexico, some additional security on the border or assistance with the border. I don't know exactly all the details. I'm sure there is leverage going on.
Well, with Canada, I don't know, just hypothetical. Well, Mexico they already had the troop number at the border that Trump said he got, so they didn't change anything, and he said that they did. Canada had a
I don't know
thing
that for
they
a
passed
fact.
in December. I do know for a fact. Canada passed.
You
1.
do, so you were there and you monitored it and saw it firsthand.
I hate you people.
Well, I mean,
I hate you people.
Case.
Is the only way
hear
to
a lot
know
of
things happened to actually be there? Do you have to be there to know that Donald Trump is breathing right now? Do you know he's alive? How do you know he's alive? How do you know he's not an animatronic robot?
He could be
Have
dead.
you checked on? Okay, I'm going to bed. I hate that. I hate that. I hate the slimy conversations. It's just like, I think I'm done talking to. I don't want to talk to California Republicans anymore. But those are the only people that are awake right now because it's like 9 o'clock on the East, or it's like 1. It's gonna be 1 a.m. on the East Coast. So. Someone said thank you. Well, yeah. Okay. Thank you for. I just got a donation. Someone sent me a super chat. Thank you, Glenn. From YouTube. I got a super thanks on YouTube. Thank you so much, Glenn. And also MP. Thank you so much on Cash App for the $5. Thank you so much for supporting the stream. Thank you so much for supporting the pain that I go through. I was gonna say the work I do, but I'm just gonna call it pain from now on. Thank you guys. Please drop a like on the stream, hit subscribe. If you are someone who has extra money laying around, okay, please consider supporting the stream. For when the Trump campaign, for when Trump you know what? Don't pay attention to my YouTube shorts. I'm not doing this for 10 hours. I forgot to change that. It's okay though. I could lie to people. Thank you so much for the donations. Jolah Politics on PayPal, Cash App, or Venmo. If you want to guarantee a call in, you could also donate $10 with your first name and your phone number. But if you got a couple dollars laying around, really appreciate it. You could donate through Coffee. If you donate through Coffee, you could see the link down there on both streams. It says your message out loud as well. It'll have an AI voice read it during the stream. But thank you so much for the donation so far. Really appreciate it. I'll adjust my weekly goal to $15. I only do the goal based off of Cash App, PayPal, or Venmo donations. So anything Super Chat is just like extra. So thank you guys everywhere. BIOS. Wow. Drop a like on the stream, hit subscribe. Thank you so much for $2. Thank you for $2. Actually, I'll add that. I'll add these. Here you go. To the weekly goal. Thank you for $2. Candy.
New donation from the Deep State.
Thank you, Deep State.
$10. Thank you, Jolah. We also hate California Republicans.
Thank you, Deep State. There it is. There's the Deep State. There's George Soros. Thank God. I was gonna give up. Thank you, Deep State. Thanks for tonight. Yeah, thank you for tonight. Thank you for coming to hang out.
On the debate with you, brother. Sound like a complete communist.
I sound like a communist. As I explain the concept of I sound like a communist as I explain the concept of free trade to Trump supporters. That's awesome, dude. That's awesome. What? Oh God, dude. I don't know. If I get another donation, I have to take another call. I'm gonna see if anyone donated on the phone. Should I take another one? I don't know if it's worth it. I might just make you guys call in tomorrow. The people that want to call in now, make you guys wait, make you guys crave it. Make you guys crave it. That's what I gotta do. How about you guys show up tomorrow, 9 p.m. Actually, 10 p.m. probably, 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. Thank you for dropping a like and hitting subscribe. Eagles fan. Did we talk before, Eagles fan? Did we talk before?
What's up,
Here's what I'm
Inside?
gonna do. I'm gonna go and put my here. Let me do this for a second. Join the Discord, guys. Join the Discord, please. One more. I don't know if you donate. I might take one more. No one donated. I can't do it. I might have to do it tomorrow. I'm getting kind of tired. That call kind of drained me tonight. Okay, here's the Discord link. Join Discord. But yeah, if you look at, like, let's say you're looking at geopolitical strategy and you're looking at like how to keep America more safe in a possible war with China, okay? The last thing you would do is sever connections with Canada. Canada, their resources, and also for national security purposes, but their land and resources is extremely beneficial to America. And like for our national security, for our self-sufficiency, thinking about the world in terms of borders or land, it doesn't really work. Land might make sense. So for example, with like Canada and their resources, being friends with them is a really good thing. Borders don't make sense though. Like Canada and Mexico need to be partners regardless. We need to help Mexico and Canada be more stable countries for our national security. It's all of North America that would need more national security. It's not just America. I don't know though. If Trump gets his wish and puts all the liberals in prison, that'd be bad. Thank you for $3, Barry. Thank you for $2, Connor. Maple syrup. Okay. Thank you for the support. Bad faith arguments always drain anyone. And it's like they know they're lying too. That's the big thing with a lot of Republican commentators. A lot of Republican commentators know they're lying. So it's Deep State. Suri. Thank you, Suri. Thank you. Again, I just saw your name. But yeah, they know they're lying for a lot of it. They know they're being dishonest. Or like the person that called before this guy, he truly believed a lot of it, but he's like, yeah, I don't do any research at all. I do not know what I'm talking about. And it's like, okay, that's good. That's good. Good to know. We love that you don't know what you're talking about, but you're still calling into the stream to be annoying. I love that shit. I love it. You got KFC as well. Deleting my Secret Identity 3. Okay, guys. Thank you for dropping likes, hitting subscribe. Thank you for all the donations. I might have to call it a night. I'm kind of sleepy. How long was I going so far? Did I stream for a long time tonight? Thank you for $5, Bucky. How do you feel about the Dem perspective that the government should stay open so Trump keeps faltering? You know, if Trump was not illegally deporting innocent people to El Salvador, it might make sense. If Trump was not openly defying court orders and the Constitution, it might make sense. But in the current landscape, it seems that Donald Trump is currently not following the law, and they're going to impound more funds and use it for really bad things, and the Aliens Enemies Act or whatever. So, you know, in my opinion, every Democrat that voted for the budget, historically, okay, in history, when we go back and remember them, we need to remember them for what they are, okay? Chuck Schumer's name is on every single bad thing that happens from now on. He signed his name onto it. He gave Trump the money without any Democratic input at all. This was the point to do anything at all. You could have done anything, any point of leverage, anything for anything, and it would have served as a big benefit. You know? Here's our demands. Protect veterans, protect Social Security and Medicaid, and also protect those two groups. Yeah, sure. And you could have campaigned off that. Also, don't cut taxes for the wealthy. Make those your 3 public concerns and go crazy with it publicly. Don't cut taxes for the wealthy. Don't hurt veterans. Very simple points you could have made. You could have stood on for Democrats, but they did not. Schumer got me. The way they talk too is so annoying. Final thing for tonight. Let me see. I've been doing this for 3 hours now, I think. 3 hours is long. Yeah, 3 hours is a long enough stream. Tax the heck out of billionaires. I agree. History will tell the tale. I hope we're around to tell it, because I think about that too. I don't like the calls for violence from Elon Musk. Elon Musk said, you're not... Oh, God. He's calling for violence, basically. Okay. Discord link is pinned in the chat. Thank you guys for watching. I know these streams are painful. Maybe I'll think about some new innovative ways to do content. I want to do some YouTube videos tomorrow. I might just record some segments on my second channel. Go follow my TikTok if you can. My TikTok is Jolah Politics, and I need 10,000 subscribers to get monetized. There are 10,000 followers on TikTok. I need like 200 more on TikTok, I think. But yeah, please do that. Yeah, I'm at 9,756. So I need 250 more followers on TikTok to get monetized on there. So yeah, Jolah Politics on there. Okay. See you guys in Discord. I'll hop in Discord and chat if anyone wants to do some casual conversationing. I'll hop in Discord for a little bit, for a few minutes. But yeah, thanks for watching. See you guys tomorrow at 10 p.m. Maybe 9:30 p.m. Probably 10 p.m. Eastern time. Okay. 10 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow. Thank you guys. Thank you, Kate. Thank you, Bucky, Sri, Krusty, Teresa, Cam. Thank you, Mods. Thank you, Kyle, if you're here. I don't know if Kyle's here. Thank you, Adam. Thank you, Soulful Music. What's the Discord about? There's channels in the Discord for anything. We don't have that many people in there, so I mean, we have like a pet pictures that's decently active. People post pet pictures a lot, by the way. If you have pets, a lot of pet pictures in Discord, a decent amount. There's some memes. Birds aren't real. There's some different things in there. It's not a super big Discord or super active, but it's worth joining. And we do like some nights there's like I mean, the most I've seen is like 30 people in VC. So as far as voice chat goes, it's a pretty active Discord for how small it is. but it's not just politics. It's mostly politics, of course, but we could talk about other stuff. I do welcome other conversations. I do appreciate that. All right, guys, have a good night. See you in Discord, and see you tomorrow. Thank you, guys. Thank you for all the donations on Cash App, PayPal, and Venmo as well. Jolah Politics, and channel memberships are $3. You could be green in chat. Thank you for channel memberships and everything. Thank you. I need sleep now, dude. That last guy, is a evil person. If you want to call into the show, like I said, 10 p.m. tomorrow, you can call in or send me a. This is a fake phone number. Okay, the phone number you see is a fake phone number. You could text it though. You can still text it. It's a Google Voice number, fake. But you can text it, and I might look at it and let you call in, or let you schedule a call in time. But I start at 10 p.m. tomorrow. So if you want to call in at 10 p.m. Eastern time tomorrow, we can schedule that. Or you can call in at the start of the stream. Whatever works. Okay, guys, have a good night. Thank you. Woohoo! This can't be real. Courses are not essential. GG's. Dang, you guys donated too much money. What the hell? Thank you, guys. Did I miss any? $3 Bucky. Oh, $5. What do you think of Schumer's portrayal? I already saw that. Okay. Thank you, guys. Wow. Bars? Yeah, dude. Oh, thank you, Candy, for $2. I don't know if I saw that. $2, not a murderer. Callable for the stream ends. I'm tired. Thank you, Glenn, for $3 as well. I saw that too. I'm tired, dude. I'm sorry. We've been talking political. Right into the middle school and civics class so people understand the Constitution. Yeah. That's what I've been doing. I've been doing all the constitutional work. I'm a scholar, not a legal clerk. Okay, good night. Thank you, guys. Woohoo! See you guys.